Welcome back to Hawaiian Diving Adventures.
Hey, thanks for sticking around. We're in the village of Kailua Kona, the final resting place of Kamehameha the Great. Our first adventure today is lava tube diving.
The island of Hawaii is made up of several volcanoes and is literally riddled with lava tubes above and below the water.
The Hawaiian Islands, a special place, was created by fire and inhabited by Polynesian people who were gifted stewards of the land. They cared for their world, from the tops of the mountains, through the rainforests, into the rivers, and finally, the sea. Now let's join Kimo and Keller on today's Hawaiian diving adventure.
As you know, Keller, I think one of my favorite types of dives has to be lava tube diving.
Oh, I love lava tube diving.
Yeah. Did you know that lava tubes were created when the outer crust of a fast-moving lava flow cools and hardens? When the river of hot lava inside runs dry, it leaves a hollow tube behind.
I knew that.
You did not. I always like to think about what it must have been like when hot lava was running through these tubes. The long lava tube here at Red Hill is about 100 feet long. It was a dark and creepy place, but it sure was a good place to find eels.
Oh, you know, there's over 80 species of moray eels, and though they have long bodies, they look like snakes, they're actually bony fishes that have evolved to get really sharp teeth and tough skin to suit their job as predators on the reef. The shy tiger moray is one of my favorite eels. I think your favorite's probably the dragon moray, isn't it?
Dragon, yeah. He's really rare and hard to find.
Another one is the little stout moray eel. These guys are rarely thicker than my thumb.
They're kind of shy, too.
Yeah, that's fine. And probably the biggest that we see commonly is the yellow margin moray.
The puhipaka.
These guys grow to 4 feet and sometimes larger.
Yeah, most eels are nocturnal and seek shelter during the day. Like this yellow margin, the guardian of the long lava tube. Though he looks really fierce, the moray opens and closes his mouth to breathe, and are usually harmless unless frightened or provoked. Barrel roll.
I love the skylights in lava tubes.
Holes in the ceiling allow beams of sunlight to shine inside. I love this tube. It's always fun diving these lava tubes, but it sure is nice to see the exit. You know me, I'm always have my eye open for a clean, empty shell to add to my collection.
Well, you got a great shell collection, Kimo, but I seem to recall this day you didn't find a shell, did you?
No. Found some nice rocks, though. You know, the long lava tube is only one of hundreds here in Kona.
Probably within 50 feet of this dive, there's at least a dozen more lava tubes. Some real big and some pretty small.
You know, that was a fun dive, but I was looking forward to joining our friend Gina and diving a lava tube called Suck 'em Up.
No sooner had we gotten in the water at Suck 'em Up than we found this really unique fish called an anglerfish. They're called anglerfish because of this little spine on their forehead that they use kind of like a fishing pole and a lure, and it attracts smaller fish right up to their mouth.
Yeah.
The anglerfish can engulf a fish almost as large as his entire body.
Really? Well, that's a big one.
Well, these guys are masters of camouflage because of their porous skin. It allows algae to grow on their body.
Yeah, I sometimes get algae on my body.
Yikes. You can see here his little pectoral fins look more like a foot than a fish's fin. Frogfish suck water into their mouth and squirt it out through their gills, kind of like a jet. When they swim, they kind of hop more like a frog rather than swim like a fish.
Oh, that was cool. Yeah, the suck-em-up lava tube has really large skylights which allow lots of light to enter the tube. Its narrow exit makes water suck in and out rather forcefully as waves pass overhead. They ought to name the dive site Spit 'em Out.
It does suck them up and spit them out.
Many crustaceans like the spiny lobster are nocturnal but are often found in lava tubes during the day. I especially like finding them during lobster season.
I'll come over to your house for dinner then.
Its cousin the slipper lobster lacks the spines and claws, but it's highly camouflaged. These guys are good too. And these beautiful, rare, and exotic harlequin shrimp like to live in pairs, and sometimes can be found feeding on their favorite food, the starfish.
These guys are my favorite.
They're really hard to find. The harlequin shrimp have sharp-edged claws that they use to slice and dice as they eat. Love the colors.
This kind of crab uses his hind legs to hold a sponge on his back as camouflage. Although normally I notice a big piece of yellow sponge walking around on the bottom.
This 7-Eleven crab, rarely seen during the day, gets his nickname from the spots on his back.
These guys have huge claws.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for more Hawaiian diving adventures with Keller and Kimo. Welcome back to Hawaiian Diving Adventures.
You know, Keller, being a boat captain and dive master, it isn't all fun and suntans.
It takes a lot of hard work to be a scuba professional, but we do get to wear goofy hats like our friend Joe. But in all seriousness, we love our work because sometimes we do get very lucky and get in the water with some things that most people only see on TV or read about in books, like this young whale shark.
That was a cool dive.
These guys are friendly and harmless. Whale sharks are the largest fish in the world, and they grow to 40 or 50 feet in length, yet they have no teeth and eat only microscopic plankton.
These are friendly and harmless. You know, whale sharks are the largest fish in the world. You know, and every dive offers a hidden surprise, like this little white-tipped reef shark.
Or this green sea turtle.